for me, entrepreneurship has always been the way.
Investing is important because it's the only way you are going to be able to get rich and wealthy for your family. We can close the wealth gap by working together.
Market Monday is the biggest investment show ever.
My life has literally changed since watching EYL.
When you can make people money and you can add value, they're going to be forever indebted to you.
And I promise you this year, I'm going to make y'all even more money.
Disclaimer, do your own research. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with, or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. Let's build our knowledge, our community, and our brokerage accounts. Love is love.
Yeah.
Happy Monday. Mic check 1, 2.
Yo. Definitely an echo. Mike, we have a problem. Ian, how you feeling?
I'm great. How you feeling?
Good.
Oh, today National IU Day.
I got it.
Mendoza, come on.
Congratulations to you in advance, man. You have been a loyal fan of the alma mater for years now. They are in the Natty right now. Good luck to them. Good luck to them.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cincinnati,
You know what?
I appreciate you.
We can't go any further. We haven't done birthdays in a while. And today is a very important birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, on January 19th, 2019, the first episode of Earn Your Leisure was put out into the atmosphere. Today is our 7-year anniversary. Congratulations to us. Congratulations to us and all the lives that it has impacted. We are not here without y'all, so this is a celebratory moment for everybody. My brother Ian, obviously a vital part of all the success of the show. Obviously, Market Mondays comes from that, but Ian, tomorrow will be the 6th-year anniversary of the recording of your episode. So, crazy. I mean, time flies when you're causing impact, man. So congrats to my brother Shadi, Mike, Ab, the entire team. Man, 7 years, and so much more to go. More lives.
Time flies when you're having fun. Funny you mentioned that. That director with that chair messaged me this weekend. Hey, brother, it's been a while.
You're right, bro. It's been 6 years. Ian is the only person to bring you still are the only person to bring a director's chair to your own interview.
It was garbage.
And this is a telltale sign. You were the first person that came bearing gifts. I still got the cologne.
Yeah.
Very nice touch.
You gotta bring fruit to the table, yo.
I appreciate you so kindly. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So yeah, we got a lot to get into. We're gonna get into it this week. Blackout, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time. We got the brother Vic Mensa.
Yes,
he's gonna be a guest on Blackout. He's been going viral lately with so much different political takes and just a lot of interesting perspectives. So we got Vic Mensa on Blackout, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time, and then 6:00 on Thursday, we got Dan Fleischman, a legend in the game when it comes to entrepreneurship. The youngest person to ever take a company public. So that's going to be a dope episode as well. And we got some more stuff later. But shout out to Dan.
Y'all working. Y'all are working.
It's another one. It's another one of them ones, man. Just a sharp dude, man. Brilliant mind. Has been in the game for years and is giving back at a different level. Obviously, from a philanthropic standpoint, but the amount of knowledge that he's accumulated over the course of his career has just been tremendous. So it's definitely one of those ones you got to listen to a few times and watch even more.
Yeah, if you want to know about scaling, how to give back, he's made and broke some incredible careers. Please tune in this week. This one's going to be a special one. I haven't seen it yet, but knowing how they've been working in Dan's mind, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And yeah, shout out to everybody who prayed over our traveling mercies. We are back.
Yes.
We are back. We are back. We are back. Africa was incredible. Morocco was incredible. Congratulations to Senegal. They won AFRICON yesterday in crazy, crazy fashion. But shout out to all the Senegalese. Definitely well deserved, man. Shout out to the Moroccan team. They were an incredible host.
Ladies, we forgot about you last week, not intentionally, unintentionally. But yes, at the end of the show, if you stay tuned in to the very end, we will be blessing you with cash apps tonight. Do not put them in right now. Wait till later in the show. But we have not forgotten about you.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get into it. Most important, happy birthday to Martin Luther King, MLK Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So don't forget the reason why you have the day off of work.
Yes.
But it's still a work day for us. But we definitely have to have that reverence for Martin Luther King Jr.
Absolutely. The National Day of Service. I don't care what nobody say.
So that's important. Man, there's a lot to talk about. We're going to bring MG, the mortgage guy, up later. We're going to be talking about real estate, buying a home in 2026. There's a lot going on in that situation. But let's start with the trading tip of the week. What's the trading tip of the week?
We all know to not go against the trend of the market, but we often don't look at the time frames to trade that are counterintuitive that will go with the trend and give you more profits. For 2026, I think unless you have an algorithm in your possession or you're using chips, data, and large language models to trade, I think you should start trading with the Asian session first, the evening session. I know it's not as much volume. This is my futures traders. There's not as much volume there, but you won't get whipped out as much. Then you should go to the London session. A lot of y'all be up late anyway at 2 a.m. Central, sending me questions or in shade room comments. Then the American session should be last. I know the American session gives you the most volume, but if you look, one fascinating thing I learned from the tournament is that the people who focus on the London and Asian sessions the most end up making the most money. Can you have tremendous wins in the American Open? Absolutely. But that first 20 or 15 minutes when the market is whipping around and the direction is not clear, I tell Nicole, who's in Red Panda all the time, like trade the close of the American session because you won't have as much volatility. I think we need to reverse the order of which we trade. We should do the Asian evening session first, then London, then the American, and not the American Open first to give you more gains in the market. You can probably eke out on a futures market 200 to 300% more just trade it in that order opposed to doing the open of the American session first.
And can I selfishly ask something for the audience?
For sure.
I want to talk to them about EMAs, and I know I don't even want to do it without you giving your input, but obviously we talk about EMAs, the 72, which I know you love, 150, 200, but there's some companies that we'll probably talk about tonight that are hitting that 400 EMA. Can you just tell them why? Yeah. Can you tell them why 400 is important, why you love it so much?
The 400 to me is a representation and a visual marker for where that load to boat price could be. So if you're taking the average 400 sessions, if they've drugged down far enough, that represents a tremendous buy zone for a long-term period. So like that's a great 2 to 5 year hold. There's a lot of companies that have bled below the 200. Like most people say, okay, buy at the 200, and if it bleeds below, never buy again. That's not true. That's not what hedge funds do. They're looking for a deeper level. So a 400 EMA is a great place to, if you want to make a legendary investment like Meta in 2022, that 400 moving exponential moving average is a good place to load up if you're going to hold for a 2 to 5 year period.
Or Meta in 2026.
Hello. And Meta's starting to be the canary in the coal mine for where the market could go, ironically enough. Yep.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. Like Rashad, when you bought that house super cheap and I didn't get the text to 400 EMA. That's what you need for the stock market.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So gold and silver, where will gold and silver peak at in 2026?
First, it depends on the economic climate, but I was talking to Stock Club about this yesterday. The last time the gold and silver went up this much in tandem was pre-COVID, the European debt crisis, and the 2008 crash. I don't know about you guys, but I've never had these many conversations about gold and silver as we've had the past 6 months. Platinum is running, copper is running, of course, because of the AI investment. Worst case scenario, gold could shoot to $5,480 per ounce, and silver, highest case, can get to 153 or 105.47. What will make silver and gold stop running as much? Not having as many economic threats, not having a geopolitical bomb that is waiting on our table, not having bad leadership. And I don't think those things are going to go away within the next year. I don't think he's going to have a change of heart. So as a result, I think gold and silver will continue to spike as the dollar value is dropping, and it's also reflected in the crypto market. And like you talked about, there's a bunch of companies that are amazing that are sitting underneath a 200-day moving average, which is not a good sign. I know some of you push back on the comments of the economy being stronger than ever. It's not true. If you just look at spending across the board and budgets for the first quarter and the revisionist history that we're having in some of these reports, things are not going as well as people suspect. So gold and silver should continue to climb for the next year and a half.
I think you nailed it. I think the conditions for it to continue to appreciate are all there, right? A weaker dollar, geopolitical tension, and it looks like we're headed into some more uncertainty when it comes to geopolitical tension, whether it be Greenland.
Greenland's a big one.
We were on the Iran with. I mean, you just never know. It feels like, I mean, there's so much uncertainty around it, and those are the conditions when you see commodities rise. And you nailed it, right? JP Morgan, like, forget what we think. This is what the analysts are saying. JP Morgan has it at 5,000 ounce by the Q4 of 26. HSBC has it at 5,000. Morgan Stanley has 4,800. Average analyst, I did this for about 15 of them. The average price is 4,800. Right, insane. So there's still some growth. It's interesting. Like, when the last time I was talking about silver, I think, what was this, 2005? We went to watch Robert Kiyosaki speak about silver.
He was big. We got to give him credit. That 0506 run.
I promise you, it was $12. And I was just like sitting there for hours. I'm like, yeah, this guy's really serious about silver.
Yeah.
And here we are at the end of 2025, early 2026, and now silver is right on the cusp of reaching $100 an ounce, which is incredible. It's unprecedented, man. And I don't think those things change. You said something interesting though, about people texting about the economy. And it dawned on me the other day that the people who watch us and listen to us, they may feel like the economy is great because we've been put in a few positions that have run, right? Like, whether it's the semis or the memory companies, and people have done really well with those. But overall, like, even the Mag 7, they had a whole piece in the journal this weekend about how the Mag 7, there's only 2 of the Mag 7 that outperformed the S&P last year. They really have consolidated, right? Whether it was Microsoft, Meta down, right? Like, even Amazon, like, kind of consolidated. NVIDIA and Google were the only 2 out of those 7 that had a positive year. And so will outpace the S&P. And so there's been consolidation. It's just that we have been put in some pockets that had extreme growth and probably will continue to have extreme growth. But if you look at the overall scale, you take a bigger glimpse, there's a lot sitting under the 200. There's definitely some at the 400. And so it's an interesting time.
Yeah, and once again, go ahead, Rashad.
Yeah, gold is going to keep going up because it's a store of value. And as long as the national debt keeps growing, then it really has no other option. And he's accelerated. That's why I put on Instagram that in the first 10 months of Donald Trump's presidency, he added $4 trillion to the debt. And the thing about it is that you created a whole government agency to lower the situation, and it only reversed. You fired 300,000 people and actually added $4 trillion of debt. So the speed at which the debt and borrowing is accelerating is pretty historic. And that only means that the dollar is weaker than it has been in recent history. And if the dollar's weaker, and then you add to the geopolitical uncertainty and people not really trusting the American economic system anymore because they don't trust the American leadership. So there's a direct correlation to other store of value assets like gold and silver. They have no choice but to go up. Shout out to Larry Morrow. He was at his event in New Orleans the other day. He was talking to Mike Novogratz, and I told him that when he said that, he said gold was going to go to 10,000. And he was just saying like, yeah, it's just one of these things that it has to happen because of the amount of spending that Washington continues to do. And that's the ironic thing about it, is that the whole Republican Party, but mainly Trump, they ran on a whole campaign of smaller government
and efficiency, and it's not there.
And lower spending, and they've actually spent more money and borrowed more money and have more debt. So, but he's done that. He did that the last presidency. That's why Mike. That's why Mike said that, because it wasn't just based off of like, okay, like he's like Trump. The only thing he knows how to do is spend money. He did that the last time he was in office. So he was like, based off of his tendency, based off of last time he's in office, is going to carry over to this time he's in office. He's going to spend more money. We're going to have more debt. And gold is going to continue to go up. And that's literally exactly what happened so far. And I don't think it's going to stop. You got to spend more money on the military, which is our biggest expenditure in healthcare. And doesn't seem like you're going to have any. So it's like you cutting small things. The Somali daycare center and, stuff like that. But it's just like
corporate bailouts are higher than ever.
Yeah. So,
but they'll tell you that the trade deficit has been lowered.
It's like, come on, like a major bank almost went belly up, and they swept it under the rug, and they poured billions of dollars into the repo market to cover the bank being short silver and being down tens of billions of dollars.
And he also said that he thought Bitcoin, I mean, it has no choice. He said if it was a weird year for Bitcoin. He said he wouldn't have thought that Bitcoin would have stayed flat for the year relatively based off of all the circumstances, but he was just like, if it hits over 102, it's going to 140. And it's just a matter of time before Bitcoin, because that's the last store of value that really has not increased. All the other store values have increased. So Trump he's losing it. He's losing it mentally, and it's
why do you say that?
Why is he losing it mentally?
Allegedly, yes. Before the real news, and think about this: silver and gold are going up this much without the real news coming out about the banks, about healthcare and health issues in the administration. But why do you say that he may be losing some of his faculties?
Well, I think this Greenland situation is going to be a humiliating defeat for him. And sometimes you put yourself into a fight that you can't win. And I mean, he writes a whole letter to the Prime Minister of Denmark saying, because you guys didn't give me the Nobel Peace Prize, it's because you didn't give me Nobel Peace Prize. I'm not really interested in having peace anymore. And
you're gonna go to war.
I'm taking Greenland. But the thing about it is, we could talk about it too, as far as the amount of treasuries that the EU and Canada hold. And you can only push somebody in the corner for so long before they have weapons at their disposal as well. And I think he's putting himself in a situation where he has no choice but to kind of lose this battle, and it's going to be a humiliating defeat. And it's going to be a crack in the American armor. And we don't really know how that's going to play with the economy, but just stuff like that, like just unhinged behavior. After a while, it can't really be excused. It's like the Mad King. Like, like after a while, it's like, it's just very unhinged, uncouth behavior, but he's having a peace party. You got to pay $1 billion to be a part of it. And he's
I didn't hear about this. Wait.
He invited Putin to it.
20 countries, $1 billion. He's going to be the chair for life. And if you pay $1 billion, then it's like extortion.
It's an extortion party. Listen, I prefer my presidential leadership to not act like King Von and Dirk. Praise to
Yeah.
God. But this is like, this is too much. And for those of you who may push back and say, well, it was worse under Biden, I too had my deep criticism for that administration. It does not mean that this one that isn't being misled. And we're only a year in. Netflix is down 34%, Meta down 22%, Microsoft is down 17%. Elon and OpenAI are in a tough legal battle now. Target as an American brand is dying. Starbucks, an American brand, is dying. Nike is dying. All in this tenure.
And I mean, they'll hold on to the Dow's at a record high, S&P on a record high, NASDAQ on its way to a record high. It's like they'll hold on to these talking points, but like at some point it's gonna have to add up, right? Like at some point, something's gonna hit the fan.
Mm-hmm. And then they want you to now be able to leverage your 401ks to buy a home. It's like, what? We used to be a proper country, yo. We used to be a proper country, but
if this erratic behavior continues, gold will continue to go up. From an investment, from a pure make money standpoint, if you're interested in that standpoint, yeah. I mean, gold, silver, and then I think Bitcoin is only a matter of time before Bitcoin has to follow suit at some point.
Yeah. Keep your eyes on platinum too.
Yeah, platinum, copper.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the rare earths. We'll talk about that maybe next week. But yeah, there's some stuff going on there. Exploration's happening soon. So yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about, okay, so based off of this Greenland situation, we just kind of talked about it a little bit. The Dow tomorrow may be red. I think a lot of people are anticipating some level of a drop.
Yeah,
because of a new round of tariffs. He said he's going to put 10% tariffs on pretty much eight European countries.
Yeah, he said that the NATO members that U.S. Has imports are going to face escalating tariffs. They start at 10% on February 1st, and they rise to 25% on June 1st if they don't comply in his overtaking of Greenland.
I know this sounds like a great idea, and for those of you who think it is, the only number to keep your eye on is that national debt number. Like, this is a perceived short-term win. I can argue it hasn't worked before, but like you said, if you added $4 trillion to the debt in 1 year or 11 months, that's not great leadership. I don't care how. And long-term, the tariffs have not worked. They started revising the reports and job numbers. What are we talking about? Yes, like if you score one basket, it's okay to show that one highlight. But if you're getting beat by 75 at half, it's not a victory. It's not a victory. So,
well, will this be a buying opportunity? Because that's another thing that he does periodically is provide buying opportunities based off of erratic behavior, and he pivots off of like the tariff. He said he's not going to do tariff. He said he's going to do this. He's not going to do that. So now he's saying he's going to annex Greenland. Everybody will be scared. He's going to put tariffs. Then next week he could change his mind and reverse. But is this a buying opportunity?
I'm glad you said that. I'm thinking to myself, like, is this another one of these evil, like, genius like things that he thinks that he's doing? Let's create uncertainty. Let's have a pullback. Let's create buying opportunities for more of my CEO friends and partners, especially in the world of tech. If you look at pre-market here, NASDAQ is down 300, the Dow down 420 points.
Yeah.
We saw this happen last January. We talked about it last week. There's always going to be some uncertainty, and then you got to throw this wild card in. Part of it feels that way. It kind of feels like, let me create chaos so we can have a pullback, so we can see more returns. If you look how the market turned out from April 7th of last year, that quote unquote liberation day, to the end of 2025, remarkable numbers. Historic.
Of course, it was amazing, but you can't take credit for the chaos it's two parts of it, because it's legal money washing, because you don't have to pay anybody directly for whatever favors you owe. The bad part that is not talked about is how many times can we have these deep pullbacks in a Dow of 500 to 800 points before the sentiment becomes too heavy and we stay down for a long period of time. Once again, I want to remind you, Netflix is down considerably. I think Meta is down considerably, and it shouldn't be for a great investment into the future. I think this causes a lot more chaos long term. Even Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin was probably down with a 12 or 13% for the year, it wasn't a year where Bitcoin and crypto should have been up, and he was a pro crypto president. But is it a buying opportunity? Yes.
Yeah.
I gave prices for Google last week. I'll give prices again next week. But I really think it's important to be mindful of these chaotic events that are created. One of them are going to be paired with news that we can avoid, and that's going to start that downslide that we don't want to see.
Yeah, there was supposed to be news last week with the Supreme Court ruling if him enacting tariffs was even legal. That got pushed back, and now you have the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying that he thinks it's very unlikely that the Supreme Court is going to overrule his signature economic policy. Well, he pretty much, and this is why voting and paying attention is important, right? If you look at the Supreme Court justices that he's put in place, it's an overwhelming support of conservative views. And so anything that's not in his favor or is in his favor, I mean, what do you think they're going to rule? Right? That could have been something that was a stimulus event for companies to say, hey, wait, those tariffs were illegal. That money is coming back. If they don't get ruled in it, like, I mean, they've laid this plan out so perfectly. It's pretty unprecedented.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So from a standpoint of this week, people looking to buy stocks this week, could it get worse? China flew drones over Taiwan for the first time ever. Nobody's talking about that. I haven't heard one report in the news about that. For the first time ever, China has flown drones over Taiwan's airspace. By the way. So is this the week to be buying stocks, or the EU? Because if the EU announces that they are going to sell treasury bonds, that's going to make
that's a problem.
the matter even worse.
Yeah.
So we could go from bad to ugly quickly.
Super ugly.
We're not fear mongering for those of you who feel that. We're just giving you an honest assessment of the market. It could get worse. I mean, I think if the Dow drops below 48,950, that's a really great buying opportunity. But the truth is, long term, every week is a good week to buy. If there's more triage in the market and we drop 500 to 7, like the sweet spot for me personally is 520 to like 790. That's where I like to begin buying in the Dow. But every week is the week to buy if you're holding for long term. I'm not concerned about people who are trying to swing for 2 days or a week or 0-day expiration, because real wealth is built by holding assets for a long period of time. But yeah, it'll be a great opportunity, but also so next week and the week after that and the month after that, we haven't got to those April levels or that depth of a drop where it's impossible to lose. But yeah, it'll definitely present some great buying opportunities. One thing he's going to give you is some volatility. You got to give him that. He's going to give you room to have some swings.
Yeah, and the timing of it is important too. When you talk about fourth quarter earnings reporting, we're going into the heart of that, right? Like we got Netflix tomorrow, J&J is this week, and then in the next couple of weeks, you got the big boys. You got those Max 7 companies coming in. So imagine the volatility that draws down the market this week, and then you have reporting from the fourth quarter from the Amazons of the world, the Apples, the Microsofts, the Metas coming after that. It's lining up itself pretty nicely. Then obviously you have NVIDIA coming in sometime in mid-February. So
the anchor.
Yeah, I'm with you. If you're investing long term, yeah, you get an opportunity to get some really good companies at some really good prices. If you're doing 0-day, good luck with that. That's not a place that I reside in.
And Renee, we're not being pessimistic. We're just giving you a complete worldview of what's happening in the market. Back to you, Troy and Rashad. Y'all want good analysis or no?
Yeah, this dude is like, when you were saying it, like, he's the modern day, like, Michael Scott. Like, I want all the credit, none of the blame. Like, you're creating scenarios. You're creating scenarios for yourself and people around you to benefit. If something goes wrong, it's like, nah, we got to put the blame on them.
Well, one person's pessimism is another person's optimism. It's all about how you look at it. Like, I put the post on Instagram. I said that he raised the debt by $4 trillion in 10 months, and gold and silver is up because the value of the dollar is down. It's only a matter of time before Bitcoin follows suit. And somebody was like, "Well, are you going to give some actionable items or just report bad information?" Well, it depends on your mindset. If you have if you have a pessimistic mindset, all you heard was the debt got raised by $4 trillion. If you have an optimistic mindset, you heard that gold and silver was up because the dollar is down and gold and Bitcoin is next.
Mhm.
So there's opportunities in every crisis.
Yep.
I don't
Don't
really
waste
even
it.
I don't really even believe that there's a such thing as pessimistic or optimistic. You just report information. How you receive the information says more about you
It's up to
personally.
you.
You receive the information. If it's raining, some people, if you pessimistic, you're gonna say, damn, I'm gonna get wet. If you're optimistic, you're gonna say my crops is gonna grow.
Mhm.
Neither the information itself is not pessimistic or optimistic. It's just the information.
You've been talking to Mickey Facts. I see you.
Yeah.
I see you. Yeah. Mhm. It's true because there's opportunity in any crisis, like you said. And if the debt continues to get worse, gold and silver are acting like meme coins in terms of price returns. And they're going to
Yeah.
run for another year. Like we haven't even got to the voting cycle, which has a swing on the market. And when there's uncertainty in the market, especially when there's like the AI trade is getting crowded, the circular investment is starting to degrade, the Elon versus OpenAI thing is heating up. The safe haven is gold and silver. It's going to continue to rise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Uncertainty.
Don't
Uncertain
change your
times.
plan.
When things are
Yeah.
uncertain, they're gonna go for certainty. That's the store value that people believe in.
We mentioned these numbers during Biden too, and I mentioned Ply shouldn't be the ambassador for the Democrats. Go watch the show instead of just clips. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. You're commenting when you should be listening. I just gave the price to Google last week. I screamed for a year that Tim Cook should be fired, and Google did everything that Apple should do. Did you buy? I love you.
And the
Respect.
thing about it, I don't know why people are so passionate about politics. I guarantee you, Donald Trump does not know who you are.
At all, don't care. And then neither does Biden or
And
John F. Kennedy.
if they ever saw you, they're
So
gonna walk right past you. So
yeah.
it's not about having a political attachment to any party. Your job is to receive the information and see how you can make money from it. You're so passionate about, yo, did you say this about Biden? I guarantee you, if Joe Biden saw you, he wouldn't care about you.
At all.
And if Donald Trump saw you, he wouldn't care about you. So why are you putting your life on the line and so passionate and going, take
Peter
time out of your
Thiel.
day?
Yep.
They don't care about you.
Jared Kushner. You go down the line. They're not saying anything. Nope.
No, never.
There's money to be made.
They
Never
have
in life.
donors that have donated $5 and $6 million they don't talk to.
That's
The other part is it does not matter if all the corporations get along with both sides and they really behind the scenes get along with each other. It's WWE. It's Cena versus The Rock. They play like that. Like it's only a couple of them who really don't like each other, but they're all buddy behind the scenes to get that money.
we just spoke about this, man. The ability to work together regardless of how they feel is what we don't understand and haven't mastered. They follow the money. Follow that. Follow that.
Go to political tracker or politiciantracker.com and see where everyone's investing and voting. A lot of Democrats were anti-Palantir until Alex started showing up to the office, and then they started investing in Palantir.
Yeah.
So
and he's like, I mean, follow the money. And it, a couple of years ago, we had the opportunity to go and see what was happening in Davos, right? Like he's there this week, right? Pay attention to who he's around, what he's saying, who else is there.
Yep.
And with that being said, we are going to NVIDIA
Yep.
on Wednesday.
Hey.
Shout out to everybody that took advantage of that. We will be recording and we'll be putting out content on that. But we going to NVIDIA, the #1 company in the world, market cap. They do know our name.
For sure. Shout out to Jensen.
So, man, focus on the business that pays you. NVIDIA, different level, a higher level.
Changed a lot of lives.
Higher level.
For sure.
The highest level, actually. We're going to have a high level conversation at NVIDIA.
See y'all Wednesday.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about China's fourth quarter growth slowdown.
I think it's interesting. Slows to 4.5%, the weakest in nearly 3 years. There's a lot of reports of misreporting and misappropriation of information in China, even on growth numbers. I just think it's interesting at this time. Like now, the phase of life in the economy that we're in is really the calm before the storm. The reason why we keep stressing these messages is because we don't want you to get caught off guard in 27 and late 26, right? But if China has such a strong economy like America, why are they changing the reporting structure and the data that's in the reports? That has to be scary. Rashad, you brought up the point. What if the EU starts to dump our bonds? Who was one of the member of BRICS that started to do that? China. So I think it's interesting with all these ghost cities. Now there's more ghost reporting and even ghost population reports that are revising the potential population down maybe 600 million while we're
Yeah.
in a global war. So I just thought
Yeah.
that was fascinating.
Their population has declined for the third year in a row. Interesting that when you look at their GDP, a large part of it is in industrials. Real estate is kind of inside of that. So, like you said, you said ghost cities, and I was like, damn, right? These ghost cities, how many can you now fill, right? But how many have you built? We've already seen chaos inside of some of their companies when it comes to interest rates, when it comes to mortgages, when it comes to the commercial real estate. That's continued. That slows down, but it slows. It's a domino effect, right? If you're talking about rare earth minerals, who has a conglomerate that dominates the world? For sure, China, right? But if you can't build, right? If you have the steel and you're not building, then you don't make the money in this steel. And so this is interesting, right? Because what I've seen, and we always talked about this, right? Like China, yes, number 2 in the world. Can they build things at an expedited rate? Yes, but with expedition comes mistakes and comes like what
The
you
lack
said,
of quality.
the lack of quality and false reporting. We've learned this lesson. We talked about this in 2020 when I was trying to find that company that was going to be the next Starbucks, and boom, the next day, the books were cooked. I can't trust things that I can't have access to, or at least know someone in the area of concentration. And it's tough to do that a lot of times when you're doing foreign investing. This is definitely a sign that we should definitely keep in mind, because this is a global economy. To have the number 2 presently have these type of numbers and this type of downturn, it could be a sign of bigger things.
Yes,
I mean,
a sign of bigger things.
To China's credit, the whole global economy is based off of Ponzi scheme and cookbooks. They're not even giving out the jobs.
You ain't never lied though. Yeah, Hey, they start changing them job report numbers and non-farm payroll. Oh my God.
So they're not the only ones.
Yeah.
Meta, future in the AI era from an investment standpoint. Where is Meta? Had a disappointing year last year. We talked about Meta as far as being a strong company moving forward. Where does Meta's future lay in the AI era?
Once again, I think they've done a great job of investing for the future. Zuckerberg has done a great job of restructuring his focus. But the bigger point I want to make in this race, I do think wherever Meta lands, it is a canary in the coal mine to tell you where the economy is going to go. Like 2022 is different. The investment into the metaverse and Oculus probably wasn't the wisest one, but when the stock is being penalized, when they're making a great investment, it makes me wonder, what do the funds know and those who are in the Bloomberg terminals know that we can't see yet? Then a Netflix 10-1 split. I don't like 10-1 splits normally. That was a sign. They've fallen. There's been roadblocks in the Warner Brothers deal, which is very fascinating. Once again, Target is down, Nike is down. Some like classic American brands are falling apart. I think the quicker the Meta recovers, the quicker the rest of the economy will do so as an indicator. So if I'm looking for a broader macro indicator and I'm looking at one company, I think is going to be Meta. I don't think the stock should be beat up as much as it is, but I do see a potential of it falling to 574.53. I would like to buy there if it does, and I think the rest of the year would be great for Meta. But I think it's a canary in the coal mine and a sign for what the stock market could do this year, especially with voting coming up in the second half of the year.
I am huge on Meta. I think their approach to AI has been pretty remarkable from a couple of reasons. I think when you look at some other companies in that space, we'll take the Mag 7s. Is either they've been a part of it, they've allocated large numbers of capex. I think one of the things that Meta has done is they said, let's build the infrastructure first, right? So like we watch Microsoft combined or buy into a partner with Constellation Energy. Meta said, okay, if we are going to do this AI thing outside of the metaverse, which they admittedly have made mistakes on, they said, let's build physical infrastructure. And so we talked about their data center inside of Louisiana, but they have at least, I think, 6 to 7 more huge data centers that they're building throughout the United States. They have the infrastructure. They went last week and got the power, right? So the Ookla deal and the Vistra deal, that's huge, right?
Yeah.
Now, they have something that most companies don't, and that is a large data set. When you're talking about WhatsApp, when you're talking about Facebook, when you're talking about Instagram, you're talking about a data set of over 3 billion users. 3 billion. There are 8 billion people on the planet. They have a data set of over 3 billion. What can you do with that 3 billion when you now add into AI that can now be incorporated in all those apps? Additionally, there's reports now that they're trying to make WhatsApp more of a business-like situation, kind of reminiscent of what Microsoft has done with LinkedIn, right? When you go international, and obviously you've traveled international, we travel international all the time, it's WhatsApp, it's
mandatory.
WhatsApp. It is the universal system of how people communicate throughout the world. Imagine them putting ads inside of that and turning it into its own app and a standalone. There's opportunities there. I think the next piece, and I know the Orient AI or AR is something that people have like kind of said, what's that move about? I think the Meta glasses were kind of that fortune teller of where they're looking to this. I think they look at the future of, I guess, communications, I would say, right? That it won't be in the cell phone form, right? Like the next iteration of what technology will look like. I feel like they think they can be the leader of that, right? Like
And
Google,
the light wearable. Yep.
right? Because they have the data, right? They have the technology, and they're willing to spend. I think when Zuckerberg spoke at the last earnings report, I know a lot of people it rubbed them the wrong way. For me, it was like, that's the kind of leader that I would like. Not that I say I'm personally in favor of all the things that Michael Zuckerberg has ever done. That type of leadership is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm willing to commit to this, and even if we overshoot it, we have to, because if we undershoot it, we're going to get left behind and we won't be able to catch up. So I like that mentality. I like what they're doing. We talked about the Manus acquisition on how they're going to now make AI profitable, where before it was like, and we'll talk about OpenAI. Profitability is a real thing. We got these CapEx numbers. How are we going to make money? They've acquired a company that's going to incorporate money inside of the bottom line. I like where Meta's at. I think they're going to be a strong leader in AI. So I like where they're positioned.
Also, in combination, if you look at Dollar Tree and Dollar General as a recession indicator, Dollar Tree and Dollar General are taking off to the upside as well. So those are 3 companies you can look at to get a feel for where the market overall is going. And Derek, I like your idea about adding a debt clock potentially to the show. But Dollar Tree, Dollar General, and Meta, I think from a publicly traded standpoint, will give us a very good inkling about where the economy is going. Dollar Tree was at 87.97 in October of last year. It's currently at 139.95. I think that's very interesting. The last time that Dollar Tree hit its all-time high was in 2022 when we didn't have that crash. So,
yeah.
Let's talk about the hot stocks of last week. We add a segment in here. We'll rail off a couple of stocks that made news last week. Micron was on fire last week, ended the week very strong. So the thing with Micron is that man, it's been on a run.
Tell us about it. Yeah, don't say. Shout out to everybody that's invested in Micron.
Yeah, it's on a historic run. Troy talked about it at EY University early. and it's done extremely well. So the obvious thing is that, okay, what comes up must come down eventually. So people that have Micron options, Micron stock, and they've experienced a lot of gains. How long can this
It's
continue?
not time to sell.
Can you
I'm
wait?
hey,
Can you tell them what I told you 3 weeks ago?
About Micron?
Yeah, what I tell you? I told you what the number was, but what I say the real number was.
300?
So when it was at 242, and shout out to MG, I'm sure he'll come on and talk about it as well. I'm like, and even EYL University, I'm looking at the space and I'm saying to myself, the writing is on the wall. Like the writing is on the wall, right? If you could control pricing and there's a demand, right, and the supply is low, then you really have the advantage, right?
while
And we
others
talked
especially are stepping away from it.
Oh my gosh. And
Yeah.
if you look at what your competitors are doing, they're trying everything they can to make sure that they can meet or fulfill their order limits, whether that's Samsung, right? South Korea, right? Or it's SK Hynix, South Korean company. If you look what SK Hynix did 2 weeks ago, they have now committed $13 billion to extending their factory so they can try to meet the demand. They're building this thing so fast that it's going to be online by next year, right?
Yeah.
But that means this year, the supply, I don't even know if they're going to be able to meet the demand, right? And so you start to look at other players in the space. Obviously, Micron being American built, American made. It's crazy. We talked to Cheryl McKisnick about the factory that they're building in New York. That's not even going to be online until 2030. It's going to be one of the largest data centers or data sets in the entire country. So the demand is going to be there. The GPU demand hasn't gone anywhere, and we saw that on Thursday. We were actually sitting down in Morocco, and I'm like, "Look, TSM, the demand is still there. So if the demand for GPUs and CPUs is still there, that means that they're going to need their brain of that operation, which will be their high bandwidth memory, which helps AI in terms of agentic functioning. It was all there, and so that's interesting. I think Micron is a story that is going to continue into 2026. Western Digital is in there as well. Seagate is in there as well. And obviously, people who are a part of the Market Mondays family, when we talked about SanDisk, I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This one's on a rocket ship. And will there be a pullback? I'm sure it'll pull back.
Yeah.
But the story
But a
doesn't
crash?
change. Yeah,
No.
the story doesn't change, right? When people are buying high bandwidth memory, right? Let's break this down, right? If a company like Micron is buying high bandwidth memory, right? There's still other forms of memory that are needed, SSDs. There's still forms that are going to be needed. Who's buying that? There's about 7 to 8 companies that are buying a boatload of the high bandwidth memory. Well, what does that leave for the PC companies, the laptop companies, the phone companies? Those devices need memory too. And so that's when you see, wait, who could be that next layer, right? If they're focusing on high bandwidth memory, who's focusing here?
Yeah.
Right? Like who's at this level? It's kind of like when we were talking about AMD and NVIDIA, right? If they're making GPUs and they got 85% of them, that means they've left the CPU market wide open.
All together, and it's wide open for another player. Yep.
So who can come in? People are still going to use computers.
Yeah.
Who can come in that space and now take over? So like when you start looking at the playing field, it becomes very clear to you. Okay, high bandwidth memories in demand. They used to do, okay, well, oh, wait, there's a company over here. And they actually split to another division. I'm talking about Western Digital, and they created SanDisk. Oh, look at what that chart's done since February. Are you kidding me?
And the second half of the decade is going to go to the most focused companies and most focused CEOs. Like if you saw the CEO of Micron or SanDisk walking the street, you wouldn't know who they are. They're not all in the video like the Drewski skit. They're just focused on making the business better. My price for Micron is $472.75 is where I think it'll get to. And the companies that are not doing incredibly well and that have not been focused, they paid the price, they've suffered. But them, NVIDIA, AMD, SanDisk will continue to rise, I hope for the long term.
There's reports that the shortage is expected to continue through 2028, 2029. We're in 26, y'all.
Well, we talked about SanDisk. We talked about MU. TSM was another company last week that had a jump.
You don't say.
So TSM, how's the outlook for TSM They had the jump last. What was that? Last Thursday it reported.
Last Thursday. Yeah, you know, I mean, I've been talking about this company for I feel like the entirety of the show.
Yeah, since the beginning.
Been one of my favorite.
And if it
companies.
wasn't for that geopolitical thing, they would be.
And I
They
feel
would
like
be
it's
Yep.
beginning to get its due now, but it tells you the importance of how strong this company is and what it means to the overall AI economy, right? Because if you watch what happened on Thursday when they blew out their quarter, look at what every company in the AI space did, right? ASML's up, Nvidia went up, Broadcom went up, AMD was up, Micron, all these companies were up based on the demand, right? That's why they're reporting. It's interesting. That usually comes before all the big tech companies, right? So it talks about, wait, how are the orders looking? There's no slowdown. In fact, the growth is looking exponential quarter after quarter. So that tells you that this story is not done yet. There's still legs to it. I know everybody's want to say, oh, this is a bubble and it's run its course. But I'm like, well, look at how much money is being spent at TSM right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
yeah.
They're on a tier. This was a company that we've been in price since like $87. One of the best investments that has been in the portfolio. Is going to continue to grow. I think TSM is one of, if it's in your portfolio, you leave it there long term and you're happy with it. Because the AI is going to be the story, not just for this year. It's going to be the story for the near future, and they're going to play an integral part of it. I don't care if it's NVIDIA that is the leader in GPUs, or if it's Google saying, hey, can you manufacture this for me, right? Whether it's a TPU or Broadcom saying their XPU, the manufacturer is still the choice has been Taiwan Semiconductor, and that doesn't look like it's going to change. In fact, I think it's actually going to be increased when the fabs come online here in America.
Yeah,
we did do a 1-day option on that.
Shadi, you did?
Yeah, we both did.
Okay.
He told me to do a 1-day option.
All right.
So why you look mad?
Yeah, I was just saying.
No, I'm just saying we did a 1-day option.
I'm testing something out. I'm gonna be 100% transparent. I'm testing. I told people one of my goals here on Market Mondays was like I want to be even better with technical analysis. And so I wanted to. I've been like studying that right every chance I get, and so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna test some of these short term options out. The long term ones we've been pretty good with. I mean, modestly speaking, we've done pretty well with some of the long term leaps. But I wanted to see, right, because the shorter contracts, 6 months to 2 months to sometimes a month out, number one, they can have some huge gains, but they're also a little bit more affordable for the everyday person. And so this is 100% transparent. It's 3:50 New York Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. I had read all the reports. Obviously, I studied TSM, and I'm like, yo, we're sitting down watching this game. I'm like, yo, Shadi, I got a good feeling about this. I usually tell the guys like, yo, I'm about 80. I give them a percentage. Like, I'm 85%. Yo, I'm 90%. Yeah. I'm 95%. And when I say that, they're like, oh, if he's 95%, I believe in this. So I'm like, look, I'm about 90% here. I think TSM had pulled back on Wednesday. It was down to 327. I'm like, yeah, we could probably get in a 330 call out for like February or the end of the month.
No, it was next week.
No, it was 2 weeks.
It was January 20th.
That's not a Friday.
It was something. It was next week. It was a week.
It was the 30th. It was 30th, January 30th. So I'm like, all right, well, that's 3 weeks. It's at 327, $3 move. I know they're gonna blow out earnings. I got all my, I won't call it my crystal ball, but I got my method to figure out how it's gonna report. Yo, 5 minutes to go. I'm like, yo, we're gonna do this, Shadi. I'm like, here, we literally phones next to each other, like we're gonna do it. So we do it. That morning I wake up because we're 6 hours behind.
6 hours ahead.
6 hours ahead. I'm like, oh damn, we gotta wait. When the market opened or reported, I think because TSM reported like 6:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, it was at $357, right? So I'm like, all right, bet. We gotta stick to our game plan. So we're watching this like sketchy Wi-Fi in the car. I'm like, look, he's like, yo, when you gonna sell it? When you gonna sell it? I said, yo, you know my rule. Like 100% is my number. If I get the 100%, I'm out of here. So I think you got the 100%, right?
97.
So you got the 90%, 97. So literally from 3:50 p.m. to like about a 10-minute trade, really.
Mm-hmm.
He's up 97%. I lose. This is the day that Verizon loses service. I got no service. I can't even get into my phone. So I'm like, yo, I need somebody's Wi-Fi. I need somebody's Wi-Fi. It takes me about 30 minutes to get Wi-Fi. By the time I opened my account, I was up 147%. And so, I took profit and said, all right, let's move on with our day.
Amazing. TSM, my end of year target will either be 448.52, and my 3-year target will be 576.54. If you're in it long term, please don't get out. And great job on the trade.
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah.
I told you, what happens in those type of trades? 2 things happen. He goes through the exact emotion that most people do. They're like, damn, that was fire. Like that's when it works. Like, that was a great trade, right? The second emotion is, damn, I should have
held longer.
I should have put more money.
It's either more money
Right?
in or held longer. Yep, it always works that way.
Yeah, you think about that, right? Like I always tell my brother, I'm like, yo, if I get you 10 get you 20.
Well, given that if I would have had more time, like I told him, I said I would have put 100,000 in, because if you look at it from a mathematical standpoint, like
Troy, you funny.
You know what I'm saying?
100,000 get you 97.
This is
in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
This is why I got to get better. That's why I want to be even better.
The intraday. And Kevin, people ask for a price where to get in. I gave a price. If you don't want me to give a price on the show, I won't. And Stock Club, if you want to know where to get in and where to get out on all the most amazing companies in the world, go to ianinvest.com. Not only am I giving monthly prices, now I'm giving weekly prices for the hottest stocks in the world, so you never have to wait a full month to get new prices. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. Back to you, Troy Rashad.
Mike, check your text messages, bro.
And get your tickets to Invest Fest.
Please do.
We cooking up. We got some announcements that we're gonna make. Speaking of Red Panda, check Telegram. If you're in Red Panda, you're gonna get your discount code. But Invest Fest, August 7th to August 9th. Life-changing information. This is the year 6. Time flies.
This is a fact.
Year 6 of Invest Fest. Wow. If you've been to Invest Fest, put some fire in the chat. Nothing like it.
He said you was. He said you. I thought you saying I was Cap. He's saying that you was Cap.
I would have done it.
I believe you would have done it.
Like,
it was 5 minutes.
It was 5 minutes until the bell closed, and we in Morocco.
The last 20 minutes of the American Nicole is a very profitable time because you've already seen the direction throughout the day. So well played. Well played.
Yeah. Now, the next thing you're gonna say, why you ain't
You picked up Green and Blue City? That's tough.
Yeah. That was the day before that. On our way to that, that's when I was like, all right, low service.
Yep.
Okay, Ian, let's go to this. Let's. I'm gonna name a group of A, B, C, D, a group of stocks, and talk about which one you will hold for the next 10 years and why. So in Group A, you have Apple, Facebook, or Apple, Meta, Bitcoin, and Micron. Apple, Meta, Bitcoin, Micron. In Group B, you have Nvidia, Tesla, Palantir, and Eli Lilly. In Group C, you have Microsoft, TSM, Broadcom, and Ethereum. And in Group D, you have Amazon, Google, Walmart, and Berkshire Hathaway B. So out of that group, what's the group that you would hold for 10 years and why?
It's like when Bron had to do the All-Star game picks, right? Are we going for safety or are we going for growth? What's the measurement?
Growth. Let's go growth.
Okay.
I think we gotta have a difference of opinion here, but I'm interested.
Okay, well, let's do reverse. I gotta eliminate D because of Berkshire.
Okay.
Buffett's not there. I don't know if Greg is going to follow. It's a lot of cash on hand. I'm hearing a lot of things of like he's trying to find his footing on the investment philosophy that he's left with. So for right now, I'm going to have to take D out. C, I love Tom Lee. Pause.
That's crazy. Hey, yo.
What I say?
I can't even know. That was crazy.
Now repeat it one time. Pause.
You said you're gonna have to take that letter out.
VSG, clip me up. Go Clippers. 2026, do you work? So I can't do Ethereum. So I think I'm gonna lean on. I'm gonna go with B. Nvidia, Tesla, Palantir, and once again, I keep saying I do not like it from a moral standpoint, but with who is in office the next 4 years, Peter Thiel being the mastermind behind him, also getting elected. I'm gonna go with Nvidia, Tesla, Palantir, and Lilly as my 4. What about you?
Solid.
Like if I had to put up 10 or 15 million into the market,
Yeah,
I would sleep incredibly well with those and also get growth out of them. That Taiwan semi look nice though. I ain't gonna. Ethereum is the only one that's the one that shouldn't be in the all-star list. I wish.
yeah. I don't. You know
I
what?
would want to see.
I'm being honest with you here. I don't think you go wrong with any of them. I really don't.
Yeah.
Especially if we're talking like I know you said you wanted to throw the letter D out, but when we're talking about
Pause.
necessities, I said the letter D out. Like, come on, like, very clear. When we talk about necessities and we talk about stable companies that are going to be here for the next 10, 15, 20 years.
Yep.
I mean, Amazon for sure, right? The only thing I don't like is that they both are in e-commerce. So you got Amazon and Walmart here, and
Yeah, they kind of overlap.
They overlap, and Google will definitely be the leader in this year for AI, and I think in the future as well. And Berkshire is just like the safest play that you can have. I think that's going to be on autopilot, right? The next one I was looking at is A, because we just talked about Meta, but Bitcoin's in there. And if we're talking about the next 10 years and the expectations for growth for Bitcoin over the next 10 years, I don't know if any of these companies are going to have that type of multiple. You know what I mean? Like Nvidia is already at a little under 5 trillion. If it gets to 7 trillion, I mean, that would be incredible over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
But what's the appreciation for Bitcoin over the next 10 years? Like that could be 1 million, right? That could be 700,000. Facebook, obviously Apple is going to be here. Micron, the memory story will be, that's a cyclical trade, right? Like at some point.
It probably got 3 more years left on it though.
Right, yeah, it got some time. So that means that you got 7 that you're not. Nvidia inside of the B category is interesting. We're talking 10 years. Now, we've said they're going to have the lead for the next 3 to 5. What happens in year 7? I still think in terms of market cap, they'll definitely be in the top 5, but could there be a company that passes them?
Apple?
No, Nvidia.
Oh, Nvidia, okay, yeah.
Yeah, right? Like Google's surprise is like, it's here.
On fire, bro. And the crazy part, in the A group, Apple's the one that drags the portfolio down.
Current day. And then obviously
until you get fired.
C has Microsoft broadcast. These are all good options.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
I would go A.
Yeah, I think A. All right, so let's try to breeze through these last couple of topics because we got to bring the brother MG on. Robinhood, outlook for Robinhood, and Vlad, he sold a lot of his shares. What happened with that?
He deserves to be rich. I saw this and I'm like, he's built this, fought through the entire banking infrastructure, building the Robinhood's Not for the Hood campaign. That was paid propaganda by the banks and brokerages. He innovated at the highest level. You can argue he gave a platform for options. He's integrating into prediction markets, high integration into the futures market. Hell of a CEO. Contrary to popular belief, most people buy shares in a company or build a company to be able to sell them, to be able to be wealthy and to be free. It doesn't mean that he does not believe in the company. I think if still at this price, they're incredibly undervalued. Robinhood is going to do incredibly well. I think every news story of a person selling does not mean that they think the stock is going to fall apart. They are just liquidating some of the shares at the vesting schedule that they have predetermined by the shareholders. Robinhood is good.
Big on Robinhood. I had it in my top 10 picks for 2026. They're at a interesting place. Like I think right now they're down over 30%. from its all-time high, which is interesting enough where I like to see companies, right? Like strong companies that I believe in, I like to see them at a discounted. I think it's at that point right now. I think everything you said is important. A key sign to see when would be a good time, and this is just like free game for y'all. Robinhood makes a lot of its revenue based on options trading. And so if you want to see if Robinhood is going to start to tick up, look at the volume of options trades that are happening, whether it's in equities, whether it's in ETFs. That is a telltale sign. I think you saw a pullback here this year because the other piece that helps them grow is crypto, right? Like it's a very usable
It's a huge
brokerage.
piece. Yep.
And so when crypto pulls back a little bit, you'll see Robinhood start to consolidate. But I think that changes, the story for that changes in 2026, in addition to the prediction markets. I know they think it's not going to be a huge thing. I think they're underestimating that. I think a lot of young people that we speak to, when I ask them what brokerage they're using, the number one that they say is Robinhood. I think, again, and I told y'all to circle that around July when they figure out these baby accounts or these baby bond accounts, who is the brokerage that they're going to choose. I'd be interested to see, man. I feel like they got a good case that they may want to be the choice to hold some of these accounts for the 2025 and 2026 babies.
If Robinhood gets to 95.32, that's a good price to form a position in Robinhood. $95.32.
Yeah.
Is OpenAI in trouble?
I was one of the first ones screaming this, but with this lawsuit and the paper trail that has been left there, it doesn't mean that the company is dead. I'm not saying that because I've been a big fan of OpenAI. But even shout out to Calicanis, Jason also has championed my statement that I made last year on the show, is that if you're a developer, be careful of the IP that you've put on ChatGPT, because now in Silicon Valley, there are some companies who are saying that they've uploaded some proprietary information, and now that information is coming out in product form inside of OpenAI. So Elon may not win every battle per se, but in terms of war, he's pretty good. And the sentiment on Sam is changing rapidly, so much so that Microsoft is moving the Azure customers to another large language model provider. So I think when Brad Gerstner woke up that story and had that interview with him, and he was flippant in the answer about the revenue, that caused a lot of damage in the market and for that company. They have to regulate and get this done, and he needs management, crisis management like no other right now, because this can destroy some of the valuation of the company. But Microsoft, from what I'm told inside of headquarters, is not very happy with the investment or him right now.
There are reasons for concern. I think obviously, they had a pretty good year. They brought in 20 billion, but they've spent so much more. I think people need to understand that OpenAI is not a profitable company present day, right? Like, they're not profitable. I think what caused a stir this or last week was the idea of them now adding ads to the platform. Well, why would you add?
Oh my God.
Right. They were adamant about, like, that was not something that they wanted to do. And now they've had to reverse course. Well, why do you take on ads? Well, you need revenue.
You need the money.
Right? Like, we need money, and you have millions, like 800 million people using it, or 900 million people using it, low tiers, you need to bring in some capital, because the overspending, right, at some point, that check has to be cashed, right? Like, the problem with that is that the competition it's
heated
here.
up.
No, it's here. So the second that they said that they're going to now add ads to the platform, what did Google do with Gemini? They said, look, nah, man, we're never going to do that, because that's not the only thing that they rely on. And so the competition is here. So when you look at that, the competition, Anthropic is about to go public. I know they just tried to raise the valuation for that as well. You got to look for who's your support. And so the comp for them is Google for sure, Meta, Anthropic, right? What they support, even though you just talked about Microsoft is still a supporter. It's more advantageous for them to want OpenAI to do well at their deal structure. They still have Oracle, right? And they're kind of like in this thing together. But we know that Larry Ellison is willing to do things, and we saw that recently with the Netflix Warner Brothers deal, and go above and beyond to make sure that his investment works. SoftBank is still a supporter. NVIDIA is a supporter. AMD is a supporter.
Yeah.
Broadcom is a partner. So they have a strong base of partnerships and support that won't, in my opinion, won't allow it to fail. But they got to start making some money. And so the ad
Quickly.
thing and doing it quickly. In fact, they're saying that based on the bottom line now, profitability doesn't look likely till 2029.
Minimum.
Right, that's 3 more years. So now how do you get this expenditure of when we talked about the $500 billion investment in Stargate, right? How do we get this investment inside of AMD to be profitable? How does the Broadcom thing make sense? They got to figure this out and figure it out quickly because Gemini is not slowing down, and Anthropic is not slowing down, and even Grok XAI is not slowing down.
It's slowing down at all. Nope.
And that's not their only source.
Gemini added 8 million users in the last year when they were behind initially. And like I said, Microsoft became one of Anthropic's top customers, on pace to spend nearly $500 million a year for Anthropic AI to power Microsoft products. They can still invest and own 49% of a company, but if you have an erratic leader, you're going to say, let me hedge my bet and invest somewhere else so that the deliverability and the quality of the AI is higher for the customers. And as soon as they go public, we'll take our cash coffers and then we'll go invest in another company again and leave you out to be on your own. You can't have an erratic leader that's a theft. And also on top of that, that report of that suicide and that engineer being killed, some of this shit is coming back on you. It's too many rumblings in San Fran about this was clearly stolen from Elon. It was nonprofit and you converted it to for-profit and then moved them out. He stopped the ketamine use. He's awake now. You have a real lawsuit to fight. Everyone wants to walk away, and Google and Anthropic are going to be some of the biggest beneficiaries of. So it goes back to you can't have an emotional, erratic man leading a company of that magnitude. You can't trust him.
And it's the idea of it being in debt is not. I mean, you feel like you hear that in the investment world all the time, especially with startups. The issue is the scale of the debt. It usually is not in the hundreds of billions. And that's
they were asking for a bailout before they went public. What?
Raise another round. The problem now, when you raise another round, when people see that the competitors have caught up to you, they got to figure something out.
All right, my bad, Rashad. Go ahead.
All right. We'll monitor the situation.
Sometimes it's my passion talking.
There's a few downward stocks right now. Netflix is down 34%, Meta's down 22%, Microsoft is down 17%, Tesla 12%, Nvidia 12%, Apple 10%, Amazon 8%, Google 2%. What down stock is the stock that you most like right now?
Out of this category, all of them long term. If we're looking short term, Microsoft will be first. And I really love the restructuring of Tesla no longer being a car company and being autonomous, and him being focused more than ever. Do I think Netflix will recover? Once again, it's a debt issue. I think Netflix would probably be third and they'll be fine. But I'm going to have to go with Microsoft first, Tesla second, then Netflix third. The RIP is a great move. Kudos to Ben Affleck and
you like
Matt
it?
Damon. What? You didn't? It's like Sicario in the Town in one.
I didn't finish it. I was watching is it He Said, She Said? What was the joint? His and Hers? Or
His and Hers. That's another. Yeah.
Netflix is doing a few things that's concerning to me.
Tell me more.
Yeah, go ahead.
They going into music.
Wait, what?
You didn't hear about that?
No, I've been on my peaceful meditation thing, staying off the. No, I didn't see that.
Staying off the web.
Yeah, I spoke to somebody that's very high up on the food chain today when it comes to these content creation topics, and they said that Netflix, they're creating their own streaming service for music, and don't be surprised if they sign Drake or somebody of that caliber.
Of that magnitude. Okay. That I have heard. Yeah.
I think that might be, I don't know. It's a gamble. But then there's this number
Corey
one, like
gamble.
one of the top 3 movies on Netflix right now I watched yesterday. It's like The Suitcase Killer. You ever watch that?
Oh yeah.
I was actually gonna watch it last night, but
Yeah, you in your Netflix bag right now.
It's concerning. And the
The
reason why
movie or the strategy?
the movie is a Lifetime. It's like a Lifetime movie.
Okay.
I was surprised that Netflix even put it on their platform.
They do some of those.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, just on an eye test,
The quality's eroding.
Yeah, no, that's not fair.
It's like when Def Jam. Shout to Def Jam and everybody there. But it's like the last 5 years of Def Jam. Yeah.
You're starting to cut it too many
too
times.
much.
Yeah, you're cutting it
The
too
word can't
much.
get stepped on.
You cutting it too much, man. I said,
Yeah.
nah, I'm surprised.
And it was in like the top 10 recommended too.
It
That's
was
a fact.
like number 3.
It's
It definitely was
trending.
number 3.
It's trending.
Yeah, but here I mean, tomorrow's a big day, right? By the time we come on Market Mondays next week, we'll have a better picture of what Netflix looks like. I think fourth quarter is traditionally their best quarter. Fourth and first are usually their best, obviously because of the content that they put out. And they had a hell of a year. When you're talking about Stranger Things, I mean, it's still the most watched thing on Netflix. Billions of views. You talk about Squid Games that they had the finale for that. Then they brought in the Dragon, what is it, Dragon Demon or Demon Slayer, whatever that thing is.
Something like that, yeah.
And that
Demon
went
Hunter.
crazy. Demon Hunters, that was incredible. And they just had a wild card. Like the Diddy documentary is a wild card, but the numbers that it did were incredible. Add into that the live sports, you have football, you had the Jake Paul fight. I think they're going to report an incredible quarter. And maybe we'll get more clarity on what this Warner Brothers deal looks like. I know they're trying to expedite that. They said now they're going to do all cash, right? You do all cash. Now, the time frame that you can get that content into the wheelhouse and start trying to make revenue off of it gets picked up in the first 2 quarters of this year, where it was looking like if they were going to do loans and figure out how they were going to do buybacks and shares, it would have took them to 2028. They're trying to get back into this space where, all right, yes, we did the 10-to-1 split, but we're still the most dominant thing when it comes to media and especially streaming services. Tomorrow will be very interesting, and it's going to tell us a lot. I like Netflix.
All right, before we bring MG on, because we got to bring MG on, the last thing is Microsoft. When is Microsoft? When are we going to see some? When are we going to see some action from Microsoft?
Are you not happy with how they? I mean, I think they're in a great position right now to, like, around that stock club. I'm not going to give our price away, but 449 is a place we
not even a buy point per se, but like Microsoft has been kind of like, you know, I mean, it's all right. A year ago it was $444, and today it's $459.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty much flat for a year, right? Like, when are we going to start to see Microsoft take off to the upside?
I think once they figure out to be very honest, the onboarding of a new AI partner and what that looks like, and then also to the window of when OpenAI goes public. This reminds me of like a star player being in a star organization, but it's not working out. So let's get this off the books. Let's get our 49%. But now we have all the tools for Copilot and all the software that we need. It's very interesting, but like same with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin was at negative 10% for the year, it still represents an immense buying opportunity for the next 2 or 3 years. And I think on the enterprise front, as we head into recession in 27, I think they'll be more valuable. But like once they get the OpenAI situation, keep your calendars marked for when they'll go public. They'll be good. They'll be good.
All right, let's bring Matt on. Can we?
Jizzle.
Matt.
We all. What's good, fellas?
MG, what's up, my boy?
My brother, how you doing, man?
We are blessed. Thank God for another day. What's popping?
Blessed and highly favored, my brother.
MG, don't be mad at me, man. I meant to text you that TSM thing, man. It just
I'm looking in the group text right now, and I'm seeing that return.
Group text dry as hell, right?
Yo, I just saw that.
It was the Wi-Fi.
I said, damn, that shit is crazy, bro.
But I have called you.
So shout out to Troy. I'm on my Troy-ish for 2026. Stay low, keep firing. You might not see me after Market Mondays tonight live or anything for the rest of the
I ain't
year
mad at you.
while I
Yes,
do a
sir.
deep dive and get things right on my end. So shout out to Troy. I'm taking a page out of his book for 2026 and maybe for the near future. I might post once every other week, and it might just be some fly pictures of me and my
No,
family.
you still
You
got to
never
post,
know.
but just the personal time, keep to yourself, my brother. Yeah,
I'm just going to keep everything to myself.
I ain't mad at you.
Stay
Matthew
low, keep
Garland.
firing.
That's a fact, my guy. Welcome back to the show.
Look, 7 straight summers. Critics might not admit it, but nobody in financial literacy did it quite like we did it. Right? Like 7 straight summers. There's nothing no one can tell me.
You
I don't
watched
want
it
to hear
all.
no foolishness in 2026 from nobody.
Thank you.
It's 7 straight summers. Get your numbers up.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So Matt Garland, licensed real estate professional loan officer,
Yes, sir.
friend of the show, has been on every platform that we've ever had. Invest Fast, Earn Your Leisure, Market Mondays. I don't think you've been on Blackout. That's probably the only
No,
thing you
not
haven't
black.
been on.
Yeah. And we're gonna
Look,
keep
I'm
you
ready
away
for
from that.
blackout. I got some
Are you
ish to
ready?
I got some ish to talk about for blackout. That may be the only other time you see me on the internet this year.
Gotcha.
It's on blackout.
Let's set it up.
So let's talk about real estate. We haven't talked about real estate in a while. Okay, so we talk about stocks all the time. Is it a good time to buy stocks? Is it a bad time to buy stocks? So 2026, we here right now. Will home prices drop in 2026?
Good question. In my professional opinion, no. There's not enough supply out there or inventory out there for home prices to really crash like the internet is telling you. Look, a crash is unlikely, right? So 2026, I believe, is going to be a flat year. Existing home sales right now are still at a 3 low territory. The national medium home price in 2025 is still up year over year, 1.7% year over year. It's slow growth. But if you look at the historic growth of home appreciation, if you look back like 65 years, homes generally appreciate around 3% on average, right? What we saw during the pandemic was a unicorn years when homes were appreciating 20 plus percent. But nationally, where we have 1.7 on average is still appreciation and it's compounded. Everybody type in chat, compounded. That's the beautiful thing about investing, right? Everything compounds. So appreciation, whether it's slow growth, whether it's flat, whether it's skyrocketing, you still got to account for the other years prior to it, right? And the people who are in the market, meaning they own real estate, those are the ones who are going to win. And the people who are going to sit on the sidelines and try to double dutch their way into, double dutch, right? Everybody from the hood, when you kind of like, you know what I'm saying? 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you double dutching it, right? You folks are going to be the ones who are going to lose out on this appreciation and lose out on this potential to change your net worth. So I would humbly say I don't think home prices are going to drop. I don't think there's going to be a crash. I'm kind of like a broken record when it comes to this subject, and I still have been proven wrong. I've been saying this for 5 years, 6 years.
These are facts, MG. When we talk about investing, we always talk about catalyst events. There's a couple things that are coming up this year. We're getting a new Fed chair. I know you were excited about this $200 billion mortgage bonds thing that Trump is talking about. All that's going to affect interest rates. We're down here, what is it? Today's the 19th at 6%. How do you see interest rates heading into the rest of 2026?
Man, I love anytime I hear the government talking about buying bonds or buying treasuries, which not for nothing, since December of 2025, what a lot of people don't even realize is that the feds have already started buying treasuries again. They quit quantitative tightening back in December, and they're not calling it QE anymore with the easing. It's like, I like to call it QE light, what they're doing right now. Because you remember, during pandemic, they were buying trillions of dollars or billions of dollars worth of bonds. And that's why we saw this significant drop in interest rates the way we did. But the Fed is already buying treasuries right now since December. And when Trump came out and said that he wants Fannie Mae to buy $200 billion worth of bonds, that hasn't happened yet. But if you add that on top of what the Fed is already doing, I think 2026 is going to be a great year for interest rates. You know, rates hit a 3.5 year low recently. They're right around 6% right now, but you can definitely get, if you're looking at a 30-year mortgage for a primary residence, you can definitely get in the high fives, mid fives, just depending on the product, the program, and your credit score. So rates are definitely lower than what they were a year ago. And if you look at refinance applications is up like 120%. December home sales, you know, one of the best numbers of 2025 was in December for the amount of homes that sold. So with rates coming down and Trump keep talking about the housing market, man, I love it. Anytime he's talking about the housing market, man, I get a rush because I already know it's just a matter of time before the floodgates open and there's going to be a lot of buyers that are going to hit the market once they start seeing rates in that mid low fives on a regular basis. And that's just going to bring a lot more competition out there. So I think rates by this time next year, by 2027, we might be in the high fours, low fives. What a
Really?
beautiful thing.
Okay.
How much do you think appreciation will happen in houses? And then for anyone who's new tonight and maybe they haven't heard you speak, is now a perfect time to buy? And can you talk to them about how important it is to not miss out on this opportunity because the prices of homes have gone up so much in the last 5 or 6 years?
So that's a good question. I think there's always an opportunity cost for anything that you do, right? A good friend of ours hit me up tonight, was telling me he just got a offer on a house that he's not even trying to sell for $1 million more than what he paid for 2 years ago, right?
That's funny. I told him to call you.
Shout out to the good friend, right?
He called me too.
He called you too?
Yo, just
So
tripling the
our
opinion.
good friend is making his rounds and calling the experts. You know what I'm saying? But like, and guys, I'm glad. And this, I didn't know he called y'all, right? But
Yeah.
that's just what's happening. He has time in the market, and people are out there wanting to buy. And we're not talking about, you know, a small house. We're talking about, you know, a multi-million-dollar home. So if folks are new to me, please understand there's no better time to buy real estate than when you can afford to buy it, right? I don't care what the market is doing. You got to look at your individual goals, right? Look at your credit, look at your assets, look at your income, your job security. If you're self-employed, look at your business, look at your net if you're self-employed to see if you can really afford it, because homes are not just your mortgage payment. You have expenses that come with maintaining that house, and especially the way taxes and insurance are increasing rapidly across America. It's not about what that payment is for your first year. You got to be looking at 5 years down the road. So if you can afford real estate, then I believe absolutely you should go ahead and buy, but buy smart, right? Stop buying at market prices. Stop buying at these retail prices. You can look on Zillow and MLS and work with realtors, but you got to learn the art of negotiation. Right now, the ball is in your court as a buyer, but that is going to be short-lived if these rates go down. Because as these rates go down, it's going to bring more buyers into the market, which is going to create bidding wars. And I don't want to hear nobody in the comments talking about, oh, he's crazy, there ain't gonna be no bidding wars. You ask some realtors in some of these markets today, they still have bidding wars happening, and they haven't dropped down over the past couple years. Now, every market is different, every market is local, but you know, I definitely think people should definitely buy if you can afford to buy.
Real estate is fastly becoming a luxury item. The average first time home buyers in their 40s for the first time ever. Less and less people are buying home, can afford to buy a home. So, okay, for the people that said, okay, I understand real estate's an investment, you know, but how can you buy a home? How can the average person buy a home in today's economy? Like, what are some programs? What are some tips? What are some hacks? What is some advice that you would give somebody that just feels defeated in the marketplace?
Good question. If you feel defeated and you don't know if you can afford to buy the home, because let's face it, affordability is definitely an issue in most cases. But I'm gonna be real with you guys. I've been doing this for 23 years. 2026 makes 23 years I've been in the mortgage business. I'm not just a content creator. I am a licensed professional. Allow me to reintroduce myself, Matt Garland, NMLS number 58700, better known as MG the Mortgage Guy. I've been doing this for a long time. This is my Jordan year. And since I've been in this game, people couldn't afford a house. There's always been an affordability issue, just depending on where you live and where your income is. I think where people got to focus, if you can't afford to buy a house right now, that's okay. Learn how to trade and watch Market Mondays.
Big facts.
And learn how to create another source of income. Like you guys were talking about all these great stocks earlier, right? Let's talk MU, right? Because Troy hit me a couple weeks ago about MU, and I'm gonna just be very transparent with everybody here tonight. We have how many people? Almost 5,500 people watching us live right now. When I looked at the contract price, I kind of took a step back. I said, "Holy smokes, this thing is expensive," and I think it was at like 260 at that moment, Troy. And I texted her, I said, "Yo, bro, I got a lot going on. I don't know if I want to buy a couple contracts of this right now." But what I said to myself, I said, "You know what, Matt? Scared money don't make money. Let me at least put it in the stock. Let me not buy some contracts because this is a long-term play. So I'll start feeding my long-term portfolio." And I put a couple dollars into it. So that way I can have time in the market. Even though I didn't go for the options, I went for the stock and fed my long-term portfolio. That one stock right now is up 29% since I purchased it, and I have some gains right now. So if you're someone who cannot afford a home, and maybe you have 10,000, you have 15, you have 20,000, you have shows like Market Monday out here that's teaching you every single week for free,
For free.
giving you plays and things that you can now go ahead and research, and now you can make extra money, right? So that's for that crowd, for the folks who don't have the money, who may have limited savings. You have to learn how to invest and pick up this skill set, because even for myself, y'all, and I'm being very transparent with y'all, when I saw that, I said, you know what, Troy, this is my year when I'm going to learn this game like I know real estate, and by this time next year, I'm going to beat the S&P by a landslide. I even told y'all when I came on this backstage, like, this is my year to beat the S&P by a landslide, because I am a believer in this, and I'm a believer in y'all teaching, right? So that's number one, Rashad. Learn a skill set to make more money. Now, if you are someone who can buy a house, but you feel like it's still not affordable, and you might not want to be the person who wants to house hack your way to wealth and do the 4-3-2-1 strategy, or buy multifamilies and things like that. Well, the zoning laws are changing nationwide, where many cities and states are now allowing not just for one ADU. A ADU, for those who don't know, is an accessory dwelling unit. Is basically like a tiny home in your house, on your property, right? So many of us live in these states where even New York just approved where you can have an ADU in your backyard or convert your basement into an ADU, right? Because they understand affordability is an issue. These states have these options to where you can have ADUs, but Fannie Mae just came out a couple weeks ago, and now they have expanded their ADU rules, which allows you now, and they will give you the money for rehab as well, where you can now have a single family unit and put up to 2 ADUs on that property, right? And Fannie Mae will allow you to use one of the ADU's rent, at least 30% of that rent, to allow you to qualify for the mortgage as well. So if you're buying a primary residence and you have the capability, and the town allows you to have an ADU, whether it's a detached garage, attached garage, a basement, you can build it on your property. This is a great way for someone who probably can't afford to live, on their own or afford that mortgage 100% to now supplement their income on a single family. And if you are someone who lives in an area where there's a lot of duplexes, Fannie Mae allows you to now put up to 2 ADUs on that duplex as well, as long as you don't exceed 4 total units on the property. So what we're starting to see on the mortgage side, mortgage guidelines are now starting to catch up with the times because they realize Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHFA, they realize that the times are changing and we have to make things happen for the consumer in today's 2026 market. So to me, I think this is a home run and you can get 100% of your rehab costs. This is a game changer right here.
Well, let me just follow up if I can, because what do you think about from a standpoint of group buying, as far as like you actually you deal with people that get mortgages, right? So I'm interested to see your perspective, as far as I'm assuming a lot of your clients are Black, because I'll never forget, in our neighborhood it was a house, a Mexican family moved in years ago, and it was a joke at first because it was like 8 cars in the driveway, but then every year the house got bigger, and then eventually there wasn't as many cars. So other communities buy real estate in tandem, like, and then they live in it together, and then they might refinance or get on their feet, and then I don't really see too many people in our community do that. So is that something that I think needs to at least be thought about? And another thing that needs to be thought about as well is the encouragement of marriage. If you really think about it, marriage is something, a lot of people think like you if you don't have money, you can't afford to be married. It's actually the exact opposite. If you're on a lower economic spectrum, that's like one of the first things you should do, because that's actually going to help your situation from an economic standpoint, is 2 incomes as opposed to 1. Like the less money you have, that should be the more reason why you're actually getting married.
Facts.
But you see this. So what do you think from that social construct?
Man, I think it's, look, if we look at our Hispanic brothers and sisters, they've been doing this for decades. This is nothing new, right? This is something that's been happening all over New York, where we're from. I love it personally. It gives you the opportunity to have group economics, right? It's just another form of it. Now, obviously, you got to have your paperwork together. You have your agreements, have an attorney kind of write something up and make sure that you protecting your interests as well. But we're starting to see more co-buying that's happening, especially if you can get a duplex. You have basically two families and 2 households are putting their money together, and now they're in a duplex and each has one side, right? So I love it, Rashad. I think it's something that we're going to continue to see a trend. I'm starting to see a lot more marketing around that, like where we're starting to have more like family compounds, and I'm starting to see more listings being sold like that. Shout out to Boosie too. I know Boosie has a family compound. He bought a couple acres and now he's building like a whole neighborhood just for him and his kids and his family. But even if you see just regular houses, I've seen a lot on TikTok just in Florida, like multi-generational living, right? Like that's just becoming a thing because it's just more affordable for everyone to live under the same roof. Because look, you said earlier, Rashad, that housing is a luxury. I think the opposite. It's a necessity, because if you don't have a home or if you don't rent somewhere, where you going to be? Homeless, right?
Well,
so
no,
it's like
having a home is a luxury.
Correct. But
like being a homeowner
is definitely a luxury, but I think it's also a necessity in my opinion, right? Because I'm just an advocate of ownership, just me personally, and I encourage people to buy smart. And if co-ownership, multi-generational living situations works for you and yours, then I am 100% with it, as long as you got your paperwork together, because paperwork
Indians do that a lot also.
The Indians do it a lot in Queens too. And like you said, it'd be like a whole 3-4 families living in a one single family 4 or 5 bedroom house, and they chop the whole house up. And they stack their money, then they help the other person get the other house, and then it just continues a cycle. And you look up 5 years, everybody is a homeowner, right? I
Fact.
just think in our community, we have too much ego and too much pride. And we need to cut that. We need to leave that back in 2025 and be smart about buying real estate.
MG, something happened last week. I would love to get your opinion on. We saw the administration put a ban on large institutional investors from buying single-family homes. I want to know your thoughts, good, bad, indifferent. What does that mean for pricing? What does it mean for inventory? Just your thoughts around it.
They talking about it, but nothing has happened yet. I think if you really look at institutional investors, and when I'm saying institutional investors, I'm saying folks who own 1,000+ units. That's only 1% of the buyer pool, right? I think everybody, let's call a spade, right? And folks probably ain't gonna like what I'm about to say right now, but like if you look at institutional investor, it's a small piece of the overall pie of what's being purchased right now in certain states like Atlanta and Sunbelt states like Arizona, things like that. You might have a higher population, certain parts of Florida, a higher population of institutional investors buying up real estate. But if you look at the grand scheme of things, there are more mom and pop investors buying investment properties than there are institutional investors. And for me, I'm curious to see how they will regulate that, or what's going to be the government's definition of institutional investors. Me personally, I think these institutional investors are smart, and they're going to find a loophole, and they're still going to buy.
Absolutely.
So I don't think it's going to stop anything. It might slow down until they figure out all the mechanics of how to get around it. But I don't think it's going to stop anything. I think it's good for the press, and I think it's good for, trying to get votes and win
Short
votes.
term. Yep.
It's good short term. I think it's good market manipulation too at the same time. And I think we got to pay attention to that, because who are these institutional investors? They're the ones they're the biggest donors too at the same time. So you think, guys, let's be real here. Do you think the money is going to let anybody stop them from getting money? Like, that's going to hurt folks politically when it comes to raising funds, right? These are the masters of the universe, for crying out loud. So like, you got to really look at what's really happening. And I don't think it's really going to do much. I think if anything, once you start having that level of government intervention, there's nothing stopping them from trying to stop the everyday mom and pop like us from buying homes. What if they come back and say, well, if you buy over 50 units, you are now institutional investor in the government eyes. Now we're all screwed, because everybody wants this. Well, I'm not going to say everybody, but most people, as you start growing and growing, you want to continue to grow and scale. Why not? Right. So me personally, I want to see how that plays out. But right now, it's just a rant on social media.
Listen, I never heard you talk about this compound and generational multifamily house play, right? How do you structure? Let's say I want to buy a compound for me, Xander, my mom, dad, cousins. In terms of financing, how do you structure that?
Good question. Good question. So first things first, you will have to get first of all, you have to find the land that can fulfill that, right? And let's just say if you're going under 10 acres, is easier to get funding if you want good financing, like good construction loans, A paper type of rates and stuff like that. Under 10 acres is doable. You have to get a construction loan to do something like that. You probably wouldn't be able to get a permanent loan, but you'll have to get a construction loan, which is typically like 12 to 18 months. But most lenders who are going to do something like that, they're going to fund the first initial house, right? That primary house is going to be the one you're going to get the construction loan and build that up. And then when you want to do the other homes on there, you will have to get separate loans for those. If you want to get financing for it, you have to get loans for those properties to now do the construction for that as well. So it's not something that I've seen happen like right away when people are doing these family compounds. That's why look how many years Boosie has been talking about the family compounds, and he's been slowly but surely just building,
Adding
building,
to it.
right?
Yep.
Adding to it, adding to it. It's something that takes time and a lot of capital, because construction, even if you are getting loan, you're always paying for something out of pocket. So if someone is looking to do a family compound, you better have some capital with you, because there's a lot of expenses out of pocket that you're going to have to cover too. But it's not too far fetched, and it's something that we're starting to see all over, because there are areas where you can get 2, 3, 4, 5 acres and start building and build your compound.
The growing theme on social media is that it does not make sense to buy a home to live in. It makes sense to buy a home from real estate from an investment standpoint, but if you should rent where you live, invest your money, stock market, other investments, and if you do buy real estate, that real estate should be an investment property, because you're not generating cash flow from where you live. It's not a good investment. The taxes is going to kill you over the course of time. What do you say to the people? Grant Cardone's championed this for a long time, that say you buying real estate and living in that property that you buy is a bad decision.
Okay, let's talk about this. I'm glad you brought this up. So first of all, rest in peace, Dr. King. Right? This is MLK Day. Everybody type MLK in chat. 68 years ago, a week after Dr. King was assassinated, they passed the Fair Housing Act. Right? We are now, 58 years later? And if you look at the home ownership rate, Rashad, 42% in 1968. And if you look at 2025, we're around 44%, 45 maybe. So in 58 years, our home ownership rate only went up 3% compared to our white counterparts like Grant Cardone, who, by the way, purchased his first home. And if he's vocal about how that got him started in real estate, right? Our white counterparts were in 68, they were 65%. And now today they're standing at 75% home ownership rate. So I think what we have to start doing as Black and brown people is stop letting these people like Grant Cardone trick us out of our generational wealth, because these folks have their generational wealth. And if you look at someone like Grant Cardone, and I think Grant Cardone is a very smart businessman, but you have to look at everything with a grain of salt. First of all, if you are a first-time home buyer and you are out here trying to buy a rental property, first things first, banks don't like you. You're a first-time home buyer. Banks don't like to fund investors if they're a first-time home buyer. And when I hear folks say, oh, your first deal should be commercial, it should be 6 units, it should be 10 units, you definitely ain't going to get no loan from doing something like that, because the banks don't want to mess with a rookie. You have no skin in the game. Where's your experience, right? So you have to look at, from a funding perspective, what they are saying. Is that even reality? Or is it just for likes and views? Now, what you're saying, okay, your home is not an asset. The expenses go up. It's going to you got to keep paying for it. It's not an asset. But if it grows in appreciation and you're able to tap into that appreciation, pay for your college, pay for a business, right? Invest into other real estate. Is it not still some sort of an asset? Now, I get the whole, if it's not paying you, it's not technically an asset, but I think as Black and brown people, we can't go by that. Our circumstances are completely different. Let's talk about another thing. To buy a rental property, how much down payment do you need? 20%, 30%? Folks can't even come up with 3%. So
5%.
how the hell do you think they're coming up with 20%, 30%, 40% down in today's market to buy an investment property when they ain't got it? And then that's when you see people doing all the credit card plays and the business funding, and now getting themselves into that matrix of debt because, like you said, Rashad, I see this firsthand. People call me every day, all day, crying about their debt because they did all these different plays, or they listened to this person and they thought it was going to happen the way they thought it was going to happen, like they said it was going to happen, and it didn't. Right. So I think we got to take everything with a grain of salt. And this is why I said earlier, you should only buy real estate if you can afford it. Right. There's nothing wrong with renting. Absolutely nothing wrong with renting. You need a place to live. And if you are going to rent, I think you should look into real estate investing and learn about real estate investing. And if you have an opportunity to buy an investment property or investment property in a place like Ohio or Michigan or somewhere where it's cheaper, and if you don't have to put so much out of your pocket to acquire it, and if you can get some sort of funding for it, great, terrific, go for it. But for the average person who is afraid of out-of-state investing, who don't live in these cities, who live in New York, they live in DC, they live in LA, they live in Florida, and they want to be in their hometowns, like, you're not buying an investment property first. You can't afford to, for the most part. You can barely pay your down payment and closing costs now. And there's no down payment assistance for investors. And don't get me started on trying to raise money like Grant Cardone and a lot of these folks out here do. Like, yo, a lot of the shit that these people are saying is to get you to give them their money. To invest with them because they know you can't afford it. They know you ain't got the knowledge. So wake up, people. Stop letting these people trick you out of your God-given right to buy real estate. Look, we have people that died before us, literally died before us, to give us the right to buy homes. Like, look, the Fair Housing Act was passed a week after Dr. King was assassinated. They fought for us to have this right. And some of y'all just sitting on the sidelines listening to folks telling you, don't go buy a house, go buy an investment property, go buy a 10-unit house,
when
man.
all of them have homes.
They all have homes.
All have homes.
Every single person that says that has
But from a mathematical standpoint, if you invest your money into the stock market over the course of time, you will make more money in stocks than in real estate.
Fuck that. You can't live in that stock, nigga. You can't live in there. Fuck all of that. No, black people, listen to me. It's not or, it's both.
It's both.
I'm with you.
It's both.
It's always been both. I've always said that. It's not either or, it's both.
You talked about people not having it. I'm with you, right? Because it's tough times, right? And we talked about FHA. We talked about all those things. I wonder in 2026, are there programs, are there initiatives for first-time buyers that they may not be aware of, right? Like, are there programs that they can say, like, yo, there's down payment assistance program? Like, are there things that they should be made aware of that they probably didn't know in 2026?
Yeah, I mean, there's literally hundreds of down payment assistance programs that's available. All you guys got to do is just Google down payment assistance in my area. You can go to HUD.gov, and HUD.gov has a list of, if you type in your state and your city, it has a list in your state or city of all the down payment assistance programs that's available, right? You got ChatGPT, there's AI out here. You could just put it in there and it'll give you all the information with all the websites. Like 2026, this is the easiest time in the world to become a millionaire. No matter if it's stocks, whether it's real estate, you don't even have to pick your poison. You can do both if you do it the right way. And if you use the technology that's in front of us to go ahead and do it. So the people that sit in the back say, I don't have the information or I didn't know. Shame on you. Like, you in the back of the class not paying attention. Like, you gotta get in the game. So yes, Troy, there's tons of down payment assistance. You still have programs like NACA that's out there that offer you 100% financing, right?
We have an episode on NACA with Dre.
Yeah, shout out to Dre, right? Like, and if you look at even like Dre, right? Shout out to Dre from Chicago. Like, he went from NACA and house hacking NACA to now he's doing development. All within 10 years.
Yep.
right? So
Yeah.
you got to look at the stepping stones of this. That we live in such a microwavable society right now where people just want to get rich quick in 60 seconds.
Mhm.
Like, no, you
Doesn't work
gotta
that way.
take time. I tell people all the time, my overnight success took me 23 years. Like, and a lot of y'all trying to get it in 23 seconds. You got to calm down, follow the blueprint, and trust the process. And then my Troy voice, stay low, keep firing.
Yeah.
I'm
What's the
with you,
biggest
man.
What's the biggest mistake you see high income earners making when they apply for a mortgage?
The biggest mistake I see high income earners make,
Mm.
oh man, it's tons of mistakes they make. Most high earners think, especially if they're self-employed, they think whatever their gross is, that's their net.
Mm.
Right? And that's not the case.
That's
You
not
know,
the case. Yeah.
I have business owners all the time, Ian, come to me like, yo, I make $2 million a year. We see your taxes, you make 25,000 according to what you told the IRS, which you're
Mhm.
taking full advantage of the tax code, right? Which is a beautiful thing. But now I can't go traditional full documentation conventional loans. But thank God we have programs out there like P&L loans, bank statement loans, and things like that out there where we don't need tax returns, where we can use your monthly deposits in your business and we can use that as your income. So I think
Mhm.
one of the biggest mistakes that I see not only hot income earners make, Ian, but everybody who's looking for a mortgage, they don't do a mortgage plan, right? You always hear people say you should do financial planning and stuff like that, but where does the mortgage planning come into that? If you know you're looking to buy not just one house, even just one house, right? You should be sitting down with someone like myself and put your team together, your CPA, your realtor, your loan officer, and make sure everybody's on the same page. So that way you understand exactly what your buying power is, what's the tax benefits behind it, and how do you
Mhm.
really scale that net worth to the highest levels, right? You have to do a mortgage plan every year. And if you're someone who's looking to scale and grow a portfolio, you definitely should be doing the mortgage plan with your team of professionals every single year to go over where you stand and what is my goals and how do we as a team get to that next level. But have to remember that you are the CEO of this real estate business, right? And you have to lead the professionals like myself in the right way so that way we can help you achieve your goal to the highest levels possible.
Mhm.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Economics, M Jizzle.
I
MG.
appreciate you.
Telling people where to follow you, all of the information, initiatives, everything like that.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you guys, man. Shout out to Troy, Rashad. Shout out to Ian, man, the whole Market Mondays team. Mike, shout out to you. The Market Mondays is looking like the aesthetics is really
You
like
know?
really is really giving 2026 over here, Mike. So shout out to you.
Mhm.
But thank you guys for always giving me the opportunity, for coming on this platform. Always thank you for the partnership with InvestFest. Matter of fact, get your tickets for InvestFest. InvestFest.com 2026 is going to be big. VIP night is going to be phenomenal.
Oh, VIP
So
night, VIP night. I'm glad you said that. VIP night this year is at a different venue, and it's going to be black tie. You know,
yes,
we did VIP a certain way for 5 years, but wanted to change it up. So
Mhm.
this year is mandatory.
Elevated.
By the way, mandatory. By the way, if you don't wear a suit or a suit like garment, um, you can wear caftan. You can wear the African garment, but you can't wear anything that's not upscale. We're taking this to another
Not
level.
regal. Yeah.
Regalia.
Yeah, VIP
yeah.
night is gonna be a black tie event. But do you have a booth at InvestFest? Do you have you should have a thing at you should have an activation at InvestFest where you can this mortgage planning thing, like you should put together like a one pager where people can come, or like a Friday they should do they do a seminar where they this should be incorporated inside of InvestFest.
So we definitely are going to do some sort of like, and I was talking to Ab about this when we was in Atlanta last week. I said, look, put a seminar spot to the side for me because I definitely want to do a home buying type of seminar and have it set up to where people can get pre-approved and things like that at
Mm.
InvestFest. You know, I want people to come to InvestFest and be able to have actionable steps to go out here and execute. Right, we're
Mhm.
gonna do some home builder content. right? And I know as I just said that, my phone is probably going to start buzzing with all the builders that I know nationwide trying to come for that spot and say, hey, I should be the one up there teaching. Please, guys, don't text me. I'll get to you if need be. But yeah, we're definitely going to do more interaction with real estate this year, Shadi, and give people actionable steps to go out here and execute the right way with the right information, but most importantly with resources, right? I'm working on trying to get some down payment assistant companies out of activation, get some people who got grants and stuff like that to be at InvestFest, so people can really go there and apply on the spot, right? So if you're watching this, if you know anybody who's running these type of programs nationwide, tell them to hit me up, mg@earnyourleisure.com, man, and let's get them at an InvestFest this year in 2026. But I was going to say before that, just thank you guys for always allowing me on the platform. Market Mondays, the biggest financial literacy show on the planet. There's no doubt about that. You guys do a tremendous job, and I don't think people understand how consistent you guys are every single Monday. Like, this is not easy with the technical difficulties and all, with the traveling schedules, with the family life. I appreciate you guys. If nobody's tell you guys that, man, because y'all are fathers, right? Troy's married. Shout out to Danny. Shout out to all y'all kids. And it's difficult, as someone who travels and does things, but not at the level you guys are doing it, man. I commend you guys for real, because this is not easy to do it at the level and the consistency of that. So shout out to y'all, man. Y'all deserve your flowers. 7 years of Market Mondays. Throw some fire in the chat. Throw some sevens in the comments for my guys, man, because they work hard, and you guys definitely should appreciate this information, because it's making a lot of us smarter and wiser and understanding this market. I never understood the market the way I understand it now, and it's definitely because of you three gentlemen there. So thank you so much. But if you guys want to follow me, it's MG the Mortgage Guy on all platforms. And you know what I'm gonna do? Since I love Market Mondays so much, the first 10 people who DM me Market Mondays and you're interested in buying real estate in 2026, like I said, I am a licensed professional in MLS number 58700. Just DM me Market Mondays, and I'm giving 10 people a coaching call this week. So no charge. Just let's get on the phone. Let's talk for 30 minutes, whether it's a FaceTime or Google Meet, and let's map up your goals for 2026, and let's help you get to that closing table the right and smart way. So shout out to Market Mondays, and shout out to all of y'all, man.
I appreciate you, my brother.
Appreciate you, my brother.
Love is love, my G.
All right, man. It's been real, man. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Salute to y'all, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Always good to have Matt on, yo. One of my favorite people on earth.
The best, man. The best. The best.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And Matt's part of our team as well, right? So, like, when we're buying a home and we get, like, Matt is part of the team. Like, he's at the table with us, man. So shout out to him.
Yeah, Matt's my mortgage broker. He did some deals for me. So shout out to Matt. Definitely is a person that actually does this in real life, not just on Instagram. So salute to him. Okay, guys, it's been real.
We gotta do cash ups, my brother. We gotta get back to the people, ladies.
Do it for the ladies. All right, yeah. Tell them what they need to do.
Let's make it a free for all. Shotty want to go 3 minutes. Put your cash app. Tell us why we should give it to you.
There. We said we were going to do
for the market.
Please, we were going to cash app some women. We did not forget. So just put the cash apps in. We'll screenshot and we'll send them out.
Lucia Diaz 6. You've been selected. It got to look like a woman's name.
You're not giving money to men no more. No, I'm not giving no Red Panda memberships. But if you would like to join the amazing community of Red Panda, go to eninvest.com. If you want the prices to get in and where to get out.
They got a picture.
I think it's 70 stocks now. Stock Club call will be Friday, 9 p.m. Central this week. Love you.
Ian.
What's up?
Your relationship conversations on Blackout have been picking up steam.
Thanks to y'all for supporting my commentary. Appreciate it. And shout out to my baby. I appreciate you.
Shout out to I love you,
Yeah.
baby. I love you.
Hey, you know, it's too many of these conversations about, yo, you should give 80 grand just because. Nah, combination.
Combination.
Combination. You want Kiki? You know, so yeah. And tune in this Wednesday for more commentary about how to invest your money properly inside of your relationship. And one thing I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna go broke.
Please.
Some of y'all be suckers for love and end up homeless.
Lucia Diaz, you were just sent you 500. Appreciate you.
Let me pick one. Nicole Grant 21. This is for promotional items only, so I don't be on Lipstick Alley. Nicole Grant. Girl, he sent me that cash up on her show. Nope.
Yeah, I got one for you. Let me see if I got this right.
Oh no, wait. Oh, I hit request. My bad.
Melly Mells. Melly _Mells. Congratulations. And thank you for watching the show. We appreciate you wholeheartedly. Melly Mells.
Love the ladies.
Ian, we waiting on you, man.
Melly Mel's what?
That's
What we
the
waiting for?
catch.
This?
Yeah.
This is Melissa.
But her name is
Oh.
Man.
Nicole Grant, you have been sent 1,000. Thank you for supporting the show. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. If you want to be able to give out cash apps easily, invest in stocks and hold for the long term. Master your trading performance. Oh, and Red Panda's trading tournament winner will be announced next week as well. Appreciate you.
Congrats in advance to that person.
Yep.
Big week. Tomorrow, market's open. We'll see. We'll see how this thing goes.
Be a nice little slide, but take advantage of it. And for my traders, if we continue to slide underneath that 50-day moving average and the 20 on your trading time frames, 1 hour, ride the direction down. If you miss it, wait for another move. Trading is easier than ever. Investing is easier than ever. Follow your plan. Don't deviate at all.
And shout out to the iHeart family. Earning Leisure was nominated for Best Business Podcast. We appreciate that. So hopefully we bring home the win this year.
Yeah.
Love is love, man. Y'all be good. Stay warm. Stay dangerous.
Damn, I don't even want to go. The show went by so fast. When we gonna do Blackout After Dark and Market Mondays After Dark? Bonus round.
Coming to a city near you.
Yeah.
It's been real, y'all.
Love y'all. I'll see
love
the
y'all.
sweater.